Alasan Ann, a Gambian based in the United States, who is doing Taekwondo. Alasan, welcome to this interview.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Alasan, recently you went to Dubai, United Arab Emirates to be precise, with your coach to train, polish your skills in Taekwondo. And tell us, how did that training go?
It was not only a training, but also a tournament. It was the first tournament of the year. It was a great experience coming back in the ring. It's been a while since we've been back in the ring because of, COVID and the regulation restrictions. But coming back, fought strong. It was a great time. I felt much better, and we are transitioning from our middleweight phase to our heavyweight phase to prepare for the Olympics, because for the Olympics, there will only be the heavyweight for me. So for that, we were training for the heavyweights, and we fought very well. First round, first match, we took it home and destroyed the first person. Next person was Croatia. It was a great match, lost by 2 points, very short, but it was also another great experience and a great time, especially when you're in Dubai. No complaints there.
Wow, that's great. I've been to Dubai myself, a beautiful country. Let's talk about Taekwondo in the United States of America. You could have been a footballer, like you would call it football. We call it completely a different name here. But you could have been a footballer, your type of football. You could have been a basketball player. You could have been an athlete, track and field athlete. Why did you choose Taekwondo? One would ask some kind of weird for somebody who was born and raised in the United States.
It is. It's not the normal route most people would go, especially here in the United States. At first, it was just recreational. It was just a martial art. My mother put me in it when I was around 6 or 7. And it was just to get me, stop playing around with other kids, just try to focus and have some more fun and learn about discipline and such like that. I mean, at first it was just a normal traditional Taekwondo, but then I started seeing all these other athletes, Taekwondo athletes, sparring and fighting, and I was like, "What?" I was stunned. I was like, "These people gonna fight and they don't get in trouble? What? They gonna do this and it's just for fun?" I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome! It's amazing!" And I tried it for the first time. I was like, "Let me try it," and I got beat up right away. Just boom. I was like, "Oh, so this is not easy at all." And then, I mean, right after that, I'm not the person that likes to lose. So right after that, I just started falling in love with the sport and the tradition of Taekwondo. And from there, I started competing when I was around 12. And then I won my first nationals when I was 14. And then every year after that, I won nationals. So I've won nationals about, 5 or 6 times now? I think, no, 4 times in a row, and then 5 times by itself. It's been a pretty good run going through it at the US for Taekwondo, for sure.
Let's talk about your ranking. Well, globally, it says here 46. That should not be a bad ranking. And can you still improve on that?
Oh, of course. Already my ranking has probably gone up from the competition in Dubai. Just even though I didn't medal, I still placed. So I got a good place. So because of that placing, I ranked up a little bit. So put some points back on the board, start getting stuff ready. Right now, we're probably at 45 maybe, because I wasn't that far off. Now, this is Olympic ranking. There's 2 different types of rankings. There's world ranking and Olympic ranking for Taekwondo, for the sport of Taekwondo. And for this world ranking, I'm 25. And then for the Olympic ranking, I'm 45 now. So I have no complaints right now. I'm only 21. So with this ranking, by this time next year, I'll probably be top 30 in Olympic ranking, top 10 for world, hopefully. That's the goal.
So what would it take you to rub shoulders with the big boys at that high stage, at that big professional stage?
The thing about Taekwondo, which is the best, I think is the best part about it, is that even when you start off competing as an adult right away and you do it professionally, you get to compete with high level people right away. When I was 17, I started fighting adults, the 18 to 32 division right away. I started with the middleweight division. My first tournament was, first tournament was in Mexico. I went to Mexico. I had three fights, and then my fourth fight, I fought the world champion, Pan American champion. He was like, he was amazing. But that fight was actually really good. I actually fought really well. It was a close match as well. So I get to fight all these high level athletes all the time, and I've been doing it since I was young. So it helps me grow like that. I take every chance I get. I'm gonna think of myself now as one of those high level athletes, to put myself up there and start making a name for myself, making a name for Gambia.
And how does it work in the US? Do you kind of register for a club? You are part of a club that's sort of a Taekwondo club, or you kind of represent yourself, or you have to get into little competitions?
Yeah, so everybody starts recreationally like I did. They started like a normal martial art. Then you get invited in the same club that you join. So the martial art club that you join recreationally, there's a sport aspect to it for some of them. My club had that, so I was blessed for that. So I was invited to the sport aspect of that club. So because of that, they have like a team fund and everything where I'm able to get funded for tournaments and stuff like that. And because of that, that's how the team fund works. Now they have their own teams inside the US. They have like peak teams and like different other teams like that that are like teams inside the US that just fight together, train together, right? But they all are still under the US. But then there's these tournaments that the US fights other countries, right? And because of that, there's team trials, and then they fight each other, and whoever makes it and wins the team trials, just like any other thing like wrestling and such, they win the team trial, you represent the US, and then you go.
Your connection with the Gambia, let's say the sports Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Gambian National Olympic Committee, and the National Sports Council. Of course, now you are a sported talent. You are into Taekwondo, and they've seen your potential, even not maybe physically, but they must have seen your video and some of your results in terms of the performances and what you've achieved so far as a youngster. How has your connection been with them in terms of your communication? Have they shown willingness to support you?
Actually, yes. They've been fully supportive. They've been backing me, supporting me, helping me out. They've been like, we have this whole like group chat, everybody's in it together. Everybody's working as a team and trying to get this Taekwondo, this Olympic dream forward, moving as fast and as quickly as possible. And it's a great thing to have such a team, because in the US, there's a little bit of politics, a lot of politics, I should say, because of all the different organizations within it. But with Gambia, they just want Gambia to be Gambia and do their thing. So Gambia just supports, and I love that for that. I love Gambia for that.
If you've been in a situation where the US Taekwondo national team comes calling, say, hey, there's a talent, he's brilliant. This one, when we polish him, when we help him, give him the support, all the funding that he needs, he's going to go out there, maybe bring us an Olympic medal. And then you weigh your options, and Gambia also wants you to represent them. How are you going to deal with that kind of situation?
Actually, that's funny you say that situation, because that was exactly the situation that happened before I came here to Gambia. They invited me to a fully funded team, and they would fund me and everything. But it's not just about that. It's about the people that are part of that team, how they would support you, how would they treat you, right? So I look past the funding and such, but I look towards more of how the people are and how they will support you with your endeavors now and to the future as well. And because of that, I didn't feel like the US was right for me. So I went to Gambia and I talked to them, they reached out, and it was just clicked just like that, and it worked out very well.
So when you choose Gambia over the US, does that mean any trouble for you? Does that mean any sort of like the support in terms of funding gaps or anything of that nature?
Well, the funding, so to explain the funding situation, you get funded by your own club. So not the US will fund you unless you are part of the US national team and you go to an event. But as a US athlete, you get your funding from your clubs or your sponsors or your endorsements, not from the US essentially. But then when you represent them, then you start getting funded. So I was just getting funded by my club. So I was blessed for that. So I didn't have any, there was like no change in funding situations when I left for Gambia.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Well, Alasan, this is just meant to be a short interview. I know we'll have an expanded version where we'll be talking about a whole lot of things, especially when you get into future competitions, except if you want to add anything, that's it for now.
Only thing I like to add is I love to have some local support from Gambia. I already have support from Gambians here in the US. So I'd love to see some support from you guys, because I mean, without you guys, I really can't do what I do. So I can't thank you guys enough. Besides that, thank you for this interview. Have a great day.